Energy is going to fuel the economy. That's the message presumptive Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden delivered Tuesday.
Let's get to work now.
In a speech from his home state of Delaware, Biden set a target date of 2035 to make sweeping changes towards clean energy. In the next 15 years, he's calling for the elimination of carbon pollution from power plants and for 100% clean electricity.
This is the most ambitious climate proposal that any Democrat has ever released. $2 trillion in funding over 4 years. These are goals that were unheard of 5 years ago. These were things that were being tossed out as being extremely unrealistic.
Biden is calling for an expansion of solar and wind energy and reducing the use of fossil fuels. The plan includes changes for the average American, upgrading buildings and swapping out gas-guzzling cars for more efficient ones. It endorses Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer's plan to give vouchers to make the switch.
We're not just going to focus on commercial spaces, though. We're going to give direct support to help families do the same thing for their homes. Improvements that will cut their monthly energy bills and over time save them thousands of dollars a year.
The former VP also included an overhaul of America's infrastructure to the plan, put together in part by a task force led by Senator Bernie Sanders and his allies. It's much more ambitious than the original plan the campaign proposed last summer. Much of the Biden plan would need congressional funding approval.
The progressive climate community feels really optimistic and very happy about what proposals Biden has announced today.
The Trump campaign accused Biden of appeasing the left with, quote, disastrous policies. Biden did not say how he'd pay for the plan and left out major elements progressives have focused on, including a fracking ban.
I'm glad to see that he did not embrace some of the more radical elements that would just, frankly, destroy jobs in a lot of parts of the country.
Part of the Biden plan would require electric utilities to get power from cleaner sources. Some states, including Texas, already do this. Quill Robinson from the conservative-leaning American Conservation Coalition says there shouldn't be a federal standard.
But we want localized approaches. We want what works for Washington to be implemented in Washington and what works in Texas to be implemented in Texas.
But it's a game of tug of war. The moderate candidate continues to try to energize progressive voters within his party, while at the same time hoping to appeal to Republican voters.
This virus is tough, but Texas is tougher.
The campaign released this ad Tuesday in Texas, where some polls show the typically ruby red state could be in play in November. A CBS YouGov poll released this week has President Trump ahead by only 1 point and well within the margin of error. He beat Hillary Clinton by 9 points in 2016. Versions of the ad will also run in Arizona, Florida, and North Carolina. Outside of Washington, Alex Miller, Newsy.